Welcome to the heart of Igboland, where the past and present intertwine like the roots of our sacred trees. Here, stories have power. Power to heal, to teach, and sometimes, to curse. Today we journey back to a time of myths and legends, a time when gods walked among men and destinies were forged in the fires of betrayal. In a time long forgotten, in the village of Amankwo, there lived a maiden named Onuma. She was the pride of her people, known for her beauty, grace, and kindness. But it was not just her outer beauty that captivated the hearts of many. It was her spirit, as vibrant and unyielding as the palm trees that swayed in the evening breeze. Onuma's beauty caught the eye of many suitors from far and wide. But it was her heart that remained untouched, waiting for a love as true as the ancient proverbs passed down through generations. Among the people of Amankwo, it was said that Onuma's smile could chase away the darkest clouds, and her laughter could bring joy to the saddest soul. Little did she know that her fate was being watched from the heavens, and her life was about to take a turn as twisted as the paths of forest. As Onuma matured, suitors came from neighboring villages, eager to win her heart. They brought gifts of the finest yams, handcrafted jewelry, and promises of wealth and comfort. But Onuma, wise beyond her years, knew that true love was not something that could be bought or bartered. She patiently waited for the one whose heart would match her own, a man who would see beyond her beauty and love her for her soul. Onuma often found solace by the river, where she would sit for hours, watching the water flow and listening to the whispers of the wind. It was in these moments of solitude that she felt closest to the spirits of her ancestors, who she believed guided her steps and protected her from harm. But even in this peaceful place, she could not escape the feeling that something was watching her, waiting in the shadows. But where there is beauty, there is also envy. Where there is light, darkness lurks in the shadows. And in the heart of the great forest, a force beyond comprehension had taken notice of Onuma's beauty, a force that was as ancient as the land itself, and as vengeful as the spirits of wronged ancestors. The deity, once worshipped and revered, had been long forgotten by the people of Amankwo. The shrine dedicated to her had fallen into disrepair, its once sacred grounds overrun by the wild growth of the forest. But the gods do not take kindly to being ignored. In her jealousy and rage, the deity sought to reclaim the devotion that had been lost, and she found her target in the unsuspecting Onuma. During the grand New Yam festival, when the entire village celebrated the harvest, Onuma's beauty shone brighter than ever. Her laughter filled the air, her dance was like the fluttering of butterfly wings, and her presence was a blessing to all who beheld her. The villagers praised the gods for the bountiful harvest, unaware that their forgotten deity was watching from the shadows, seething with envy. Among the many who admired Onuma was Obina, a humble hunter, known for his skill and bravery. But despite his rugged exterior, his heart was tender, and it beat for Onuma alone. He had loved her in silence, watching her from afar, hoping that one day she might look his way. Obina was not like the other suitors. He did not bring gifts or make grand promises. Instead, he offered his unwavering loyalty and the warmth of a love that burned quietly yet deeply. Obina had no idea that the forest he knew so well was also home to the forgotten deity, who watched his every move. She saw the love in his eyes and the purity of his heart, and in her twisted mind, she hatched a plan, one that would forever change the lives of Onuma, Obina, and the entire village. On a night darker than any other, as Obina hunted in the depths of the forest, he stumbled upon the old shrine. Drawn by a force he could not understand, he approached the statue, unaware of the ancient power that lay dormant within. The forest, usually so familiar to him, felt different, ominous, as if the very trees were watching him. The air was thick with tension, and the silence was only broken by the distant hoot of an owl. The deity, sensing her moment, unleashed her fury. She cursed Obina, turning his heart cold and his mind dark. He became a vessel for her vengeance, his love for Onuma twisted into something unrecognizable, something dangerous. The hunter, once so full of life, now carried within him a darkness that threatened to consume him. The curse took hold, binding him to the deity's will, and the forest, once his ally, became a prison from which he could not escape. When Obina returned to the village, he was no longer the man he once was. The curse had taken hold, and with it, his love for Onuma turned into an obsession. He could think of nothing else but possessing her, and he would stop at nothing to make her his. The villagers noticed the change in him. His once warm smile had faded, replaced by a cold, calculating gaze. Yet they said nothing, attributing it to the pressures of manhood and the challenges of life as a hunter. Onuma, once so full of life, began to wither under Obina's relentless pursuit. She could feel the change in him, the darkness that now clung to his soul like the mist in the early morning. But no one else could see it, not even the elders, who dismissed her fears as the worries of a young girl in love. Onuma's days, once filled with laughter and light, became shadowed with fear and uncertainty. She avoided Obina, but no matter where she went, she felt his presence, as if the curse had bound them together in a twisted fate. Desperate and afraid, Onuma turned to the gods for help, but her prayers went unanswered. The deity's curse had isolated her, cutting her off from the divine protection she so desperately needed. The village shrine, once a place of comfort and solace, now felt empty, as if the gods themselves had abandoned her. And so, she was left alone to face the growing storm, her only comfort, the faint hope that she might somehow escape the fate that awaited her. Meanwhile, Obina struggled with the darkness that had taken root in his heart. He was tormented by dreams of Onuma, dreams that were once sweet and filled with love, but had now turned into nightmares of possession and control. He could feel the deity's presence in his mind, urging him on, pushing him towards a destiny he did not want, but could not resist. The man who had once been known for his bravery was now a slave to his own fears, trapped in a web of his own making. The final blow came during the next village gathering, when Obina, consumed by the curse, publicly declared that Onuma would be his, whether she willed it or not. The villagers, shocked by his boldness, looked to Onuma, but she could not speak, her voice stolen by the weight of the curse that bound them both. The elders, sensing something was terribly wrong, tried to intervene, but Obina's will was too strong, his heart too darkened by the curse. With nowhere else to turn, Onuma ran into the forest, into the heart of the curse that had ensnared them both. She ran until her breath was ragged and her legs gave out, collapsing at the foot of the forgotten shrine. The forest, once a place of peace and solace, now felt like a trap. The trees closing in around her, the shadows whispering her name. The deity, pleased with the chaos she had wrought, revealed herself to Onuma. She taunted the maiden, reveling in her despair, and offered her a choice: surrender to the curse and live as Obina's, or resist and suffer a fate worse than death. The deity's voice was cold, filled with malice, as she detailed the horrors that awaited Onuma should she refuse. But Onuma, though frightened, was not weak. With the last of her strength, she defied the deity, refusing to give in to the curse. Her defiance angered the deity, who, in a fit of rage, unleashed her full power upon the maiden. The air crackled with energy, the ground trembled, and the trees groaned as the curse took on a new form, one that would seal Onuma's fate forever. In a flash of blinding light, the curse took a new form. Onuma was transformed, her beauty twisted into a monstrous visage. Her hair became a mass of writhing snakes, her eyes turned into pools of darkness that could turn a man to stone with a single glance. She had become the Medusa of Igboland, a creature both feared and pitied, a warning to all who dared challenge the will of the gods. The shrine, once a place of worship, now became a place of fear, a reminder of the power of the forgotten deity. When Obina arrived, he found not the maiden he had once loved, but a creature born of divine wrath. Yet even in her monstrous form, Onuma's spirit remained pure. She pleaded with him to leave, to return to the village, and warn the others of the danger that now lurked in the forest. But the curse had taken root too deeply. Obina could not leave, nor could he resist the pull of the deity's influence. Obinna moved closer, his eyes locked on Onuma's, and in that moment, the curse completed its work. Obinna, the brave hunter, was turned to stone, a silent guardian of the forest shrine. His face, frozen in an expression of fear and regret, stood as a testament to the power of the curse and the tragedy of a love that had been twisted into something dark and destructive. And so, Onuma's tale became a legend, passed down through the generations. Her name was remembered, not as a warning of beauty's fleeting nature, but as a testament to the strength of the human spirit, even in the face of divine wrath. The villagers of Amankwo learned to respect the gods, but they also learned that true power lies not in the hands of the divine, but in the choices we make in the darkest of times. The shrine, now overgrown and forgotten, became a place of legend, a reminder of the ancient forces that still lingered in the shadows of the forest. In the end, Onuma's story is one of love, betrayal, and resilience. A story that echoes through the ages. A story that reminds us all that even in the face of the greatest challenges, we have the power to shape our own destinies. Her tale became a cautionary one, told around fires to warn the young of the dangers of envy, obsession, and the forgotten gods. But it also became a story of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we can find the strength to defy the odds and reclaim our destiny. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of Igboland. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories from the rich tapestry of African folklore. Until next time, may the spirits guide you and the ancestors watch over you.